All right, good evening or good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, June 15th Public Safety Committee meeting. And we will begin with approval of minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion for the health district to move before 5.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Charlie, welcome.
Thank you, and I appreciate moving me up to the top. So been a busy day with respect. I don't know if everybody had seen the news. I was gonna, based on our report that we sent out, the weekly epidemiologist report, state that our respiratory issues were starting to calm down. But this afternoon, we actually got the news of a case of measles in Hartford County. The case itself was an unvaccinated adult who had recently traveled abroad, which is typically, in the past when we haven't had large outbreaks in the United States, how cases do happen. The Department of Public Health is actually working right now with local health departments in Hartford County to be able to do contact tracing, which we're, fortunately or unfortunately have some good experience with, to be able to help minimize contact with this positive case. We're also working with healthcare providers to provide information on what cases actually look like. And for those who may not remember measles, it really does start off with cough, runny nose, red watery eyes. But the big difference, other than seasonal allergies, like you see a ton of people walking around like that, is a high fever. And then the high fever will actually start off with the rash, the typical spots that start at the hairline and tend to move down into the trunk over the next 4 or 5 days. So if people are actually concerned, vaccination is an extremely effective way to prevent measles. 97% of people who get vaccinated do not get measles even when they're exposed. So that's our main function right now, is just trying to get more information out about that. If people are concerned or have questions about measles, they can feel free to give us a call here at our offices in Rocky Hill. One other note, just to pass along my congratulations to Rocky Hill for winning the Walk This May challenge. Rocky Hill did the best, had both the most steps in the month of May and the most people participating in the challenge. So kudos to you folks for bringing back all the trophies and the plaque. And I know folks are looking forward to next year and hopefully are continue to step out each and every day.
Thanks, Charlie. Questions, comments? Charlie, any update on ticks? I've been reading that they're up still.
Yeah, ticks are still up, and I think what we're starting to see is the numbers for tick-related hospitalizations and visits have gone down, starting to go down. They were rather high the last 2 years, but we are starting to see a decline in the number of hospitalizations. As people are out there getting, in the outdoors, if they do happen to come across a tick that's embedded, just remember that they can bring those ticks into our office and we'll fill out the paperwork and we'll send them out for testing. Testing of ticks, especially ones that have been embedded, both does a couple things. One, it identifies the type of tick so that we can look at, whether or not it's one that needs to be paid a little more attention to, which the Extension Service really does a good job with. And then the second, they test it for a variety of tick-borne diseases. We are starting to see numbers come down, but if people do have tick exposure and they want to bring the tick into us, we'll be happy to send it off for testing and then provide follow-up information after that.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
No problem.
Oh, yes. Next meeting open to the public.
Hello again. My name is Brian Eddy. My address is 4 Stevens Place. I've lived in town for just about 20 years. I came to the Public Safety Committee meeting in April with some information and some requests. I came tonight to follow up on those and brought some former members. I only brought 2 with me tonight. There were supposed to be more. Who are also concerned about the current state of the ambulance and potentially could offer assistance to the ambulance. I want to repeat from the last time that I do not want to be retired and request to return to riding status. I feel that I can make a difference and help RHVAA return to the reputable service that it once was. I want to give back to my community like I have for the past 24 years plus. From what I understand, there may be some emails from former members that have been sent to the town manager regarding this also. So that is all.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Fire.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait a minute.
Got another.
Anybody else? Yes,
There are
sorry.
two of them.
Good evening. Quick question. I do have an email that was sent to me instead of the town manager. Is that okay if I read it from that person after mine? Or would you like to read it yourselves?
It was emailed to the town manager?
No, it was sent to me because it was last minute.
Actually, it would have to, you could submit it to the town manager,
Okay,
and that could go on record for next meeting.
okay. I can do
But
that.
then you can continue with yours.
Not a problem. Thank you. So my name is Christina Eddy, and I also reside at 4 Stevens Place here in Rocky Hill. First and foremost, I would like to thank each member of this committee for giving your time to make our community and residents safe and heard. I have been a member of Rocky Hill Volunteer Ambulance Association since December of 2013, starting out as an associate member as I did not have my EMS certification. Joe and Vivian believed in me and put me through EMT school. I became a proud riding member in February of 2015 when I obtained my EMT certification. I proudly held several officer and then board positions over those years. In 2021, we started out with 73 members between college students, medical leave, personal leave, and our regular riding members. I know this number because I personally was the recruitment and membership officer and scheduling officer until that new board removed me of my positions. By the end of 2022, a year after the new board took over, our membership was down to approximately 35 members. In 2023, Chief Mary Ellen McGovern ran on the promise of bringing RHVAA back to what it was when Joe Graham was chief. As of now, I am not sure, but from what I am hearing, we are down to maybe 5 to 10 riding volunteer members. I am not saying that Chief Joe Graham and previous chiefs were perfect. We all know that they made mistakes, but they learned and grew from their mistakes. This has not happened since 2021. I did not want to be inactivated as a member, but was done so in January of 2026, and I continue to fight to be back there. I did not want to ride. I did want to ride, but there was also no one to ride with. It is my pledge to this committee that if given the chance, I will ride on a volunteer Rocky Hill ambulance and will do my absolute best to give our community and its residents the best possible care they deserve. I also give my word to help restore this entity back to the reputable service and family that it once was. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you very much. Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Kira Wetmore. My address is 91 Windmill Lane in Newington. I'm coming to you as both a previous member of RHVAA as well as someone whose family still resides in this town. I returned to Rocky Hill EMS in July of 2024, back to my roots, the place that taught me to be an EMT. RHVAA was once known as an incredible volunteer agency, but is the operative word. Shortly after returning, I was told the deputy chief that was currently in place was looking for someone to train to take over. I was appointed by the chief to take on that role. I sat in on many meetings and emails with many of the people in this room, working to ensure that both the members and the community were getting the best care from us and our partner, Aetna Ambulance. Volunteer agencies are very hard to come by, and it was imperative that we work to ensure that we remained one. The agreement was made to me that if the current deputy chief did not take over take her portion of the quarterly stipend, that I would receive it. When the conclusion of the third quarter came to a close, I had been in the position for half of the quarter and did receive compensation for it, acknowledging this promotion. After that, it became very clear that the environment in our building was shifting. It became hostile, secretive, and uncomfortable. We had people leaving left and right. The chief had gone out on her own to hire an outside agency that we were told would only fill in the gaps in the schedule and not replace volunteers entirely. This is a system that many other volunteer agencies have started to use, and it has worked well in keeping both the schedule full as well as volunteers who chose to be there on the trucks. In the weeks and months following, toxicity brewed and complaints started to roll in. I've sent these complaints to the committee as well as other town officials. When we tried to address them internally, it just led to more hostility. The fiscal year had come to a close on July 1 of 2025, and we had an e-board meeting. I expressed my concerns of morale of the association, the lack of communication, and financial stress it was taking on the association to have this agency. At the time, my ideas were not welcome, and I was asked to leave the meeting, and I would no longer be the next deputy chief. I had every intention of being a riding member, even though I would no longer be in a position of authority. The next day, I no longer had access to any of the platforms that would allow me to complete shifts. I did not receive any notice or formal communication. I was just deleted. I followed up in regards to this, as well as the compensation I was owed by both as riding member and as the deputy chief Cheney, and never got a response. It's extremely disheartening to not be able to give back to the community I grew up in and was proud to serve. I encourage the town of Rocky Hill to hold everyone accountable and for the best interests and safety of the community.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay. Fire.
Thanks, John. You have our executive summary, so just a few other items worth mentioning. For responses, we're just shy of 10% more than at this point last year, with about 399 calls for service so far this year. Last year, at the June public safety meeting, we were at 368. We had one structure fire, and that was at Drummond Drive, where a bathroom exhaust fan was left continuously running for about 8 days. We had a fire in the walls of a 3-story apartment building. The resident in the apartment above was woken up by his smoke detector, and his apartment was full of smoke. Self-rescued, and he activated the fire alarm for the building. Damage was limited to 2 apartments. This particular call makes a great reinforcing argument for smoke detectors. The last thing I wanted to mention on fire is an anomaly we're seeing about the past 30 days. And that is, in the past 30 days, we've had 30 concurrent calls, which is considerably higher than normal. And, excuse me. For a total this calendar year, we've had 89 simultaneous calls during our 399 calls. This comes out to about 22% of the time when we're on a call, a second call comes in. I'm very proud to say that out of these 89 concurrent calls, we've called for 0 mutual aid. So this, to me, is a great indicator that the dispatch policies we've put, which we've put a great deal of hard work into with the police department, are truly working. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments?
Thanks for all the training. I see you guys are continuously sending people to training. That's great.
You're welcome.
Last month you reported on one of the trucks may have had a turbo problem. Was that accurate, or were you able to fix that yourselves, or what was the outcome of the truck?
We are waiting till July 1st. We have parts on order, and we are going to fix that ourselves. The mechanics are able to tackle that job once the parts come in.
So it was the turbo then? In
I'm
the
sorry?
truck. It was a turbo?
Yeah, it was the turbo, yes.
Good. I'm glad you guys are able to do it in-house. That's good.
Yeah, and actually, Fran, along those lines, we just lost, actually during last week's heat wave, we lost the air conditioning for engine 3, and they were able to, once the parts were received from MES, replace that themselves also.
Great.
Saved a considerable amount of money on
sure.
labor.
That's nice. I'm glad our guys are able to do it.
Yeah,
you know,
but we figure about $7,000 we saved on labor on that
Great.
job.
That's awesome. I think, and I'll ask the chair, maybe we need an update on Mission CIT at some point in the near future, just maybe they could come in, tell us what's going on with using our
Okay.
grounds and that
I
type of
can
stuff.
schedule that.
If the chair's up for that.
Yep.
That'd be good. And have they been helping with any grants recently, or do we have any grants working on?
The
this
last
currently?
update we had on grants was this year's grants were released,
Okay.
and we were particularly interested in two grants. We were interested in the Marine unit as well as the Scorpion for the highway safety. And both were not eligible under this year's grant package.
Okay, good.
So we've got to see what else is out there. Under the current grants, they're not the federal grants, so I'm not sure where else we could look at this point.
Maybe when Mission comes in, I'll ask them. I mean, they should be more up on the various grants, I would assume.
Right, they were the ones who found that we weren't eligible by researching
Okay,
when this grant package did come out.
okay.
So,
I'm glad you're researching and trying to figure it out.
yeah, so they were up on it. I do want to say that.
Good.
They did do their job on that.
Excellent. Oh, thank you for all you guys do for our community as well. Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Okay. You said something that literally hit home with me, and I think it could be a public service announcement. You went to a call that was a bathroom heater vent?
The bathroom vent fan.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I smell smoke. I just haven't done anything yet.
Great.
Could that be communicated? Because I would imagine that's a big thing.
It is. And, yeah, the guy's local smoke detector woke him up that morning, and he was able to get himself and I believe his child out. And he had a good amount of smoke in his apartment. He had a fire in the walls, and the fire was coming from the apartment directly below. And actually, that's how it came into us, is there's a fire in the apartment below. The people below had gone on vacation, and they had left the bathroom fan running. So, I understand for about a week it was running.
But I mean, some that probably haven't been cleaned, and there's lint in there, and then you get the heater going. Of course, it gets super hot because there's the wires in there that are red hot.
Right, and I don't know if the heater was part of this one, John, so I don't want to comment if it was or it wasn't. Either way, those things aren't supposed to run for a week that long.
Right.
I'm just thinking if it's even a routine, when somebody's in the bathroom and the heater vent is going, or the heater's going in the ceiling, and there's lint in there that it catches, or people smell smoke.
Yeah,
So I think that's,
and this was a lot more than smelling. I mean,
Yeah.
he had smoke banked right down, and, it's a hell of a thing to wake up to.
yeah.
And he did the right thing, he didn't panic, self-rescued, activated the fire alarm, woke everybody else up, and, exited the building, made a backup call to 911, did the right thing.
Okay. Great. All right, thanks, Mike. Emergency management?
Well, from an emergency management standpoint, this time of year, considerable amount of time and effort is spent monitoring the weather. Last week with the heat wave, we evaluated the government advisories, as well as had discussions with Eversource Management about any predicted outages or brownouts. And Eversource was pretty adamant, and they were right. They anticipated no problems with the electrical service coming into the people, to the residents. We did have an incident last week And I could have put this under the fire department report, but I also felt a lack of communications or a communications interruption fit under emergency management. And that's where we lost the ability to alert the fire department's membership for calls during a period of time last Wednesday. And through our redundant channels, and I'm going to publicly thank Mark because he was a big help getting the word out. All available responders were informed of what was going on, the anticipated duration of the outage, and the alternative means of notifications. So we let PD identified the problem, let us know. We got the word out to our available responders. We went to our redundant methods while PD was working on the problems with Norcom. And once the repairs were made and the channels were back up, we went back into normal operations. And we had no calls during this period, but it shows that the systems are in place and the systems do work.
Good.
So good functional test. Okay. And just my final item under emergency management. After our last meeting, our chief's aide, Captain Hicks, was in the audience, and he approached me with several items to formalize our emergency management reporting structure. We're going to proceed with developing a proposed format and bring it to you folks in the next couple of months for review, your comments, and possible approval. And we'll just formalize this report a little bit better, see what you guys think of that. Okay?
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Mike. Any questions? You all set? No?
Just thanks for that.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Ambulance.
Well, thank you for having me tonight. I'm here to fill in for EMS. First, I'd like to thank the members in the gallery who commented. We certainly respect everybody's individual right to speak. Just understand there are two sides to every story, and we will certainly take what they said to heart and bring those people in. But I think EMS is trying very hard to bring in new memberships and build the program back up to the way it was, as evidenced by me being here tonight. With that said, you have our numbers. We did support 2 reports, although I will admit they were late. Dave and I are going to be working closely together over the next few months to build our report, kind of build a report together and get information to you. With that said, some things that are not in the report, there were a couple of comments about the membership writing. There are currently 47 writing members, or 47 active members in RHVAA, with 34 writing active. That is based on the documentation from the program, the Image Trend program. They're actually almost, hopefully going to get anywhere from 3 to 5 additional members out of an EMT class that actually starts tonight. So the numbers are increasing, so we are definitely going in the right direction. So with that, like I said, you have our numbers, and we stand ready for questions.
Thank you. Fran?
No? I don't have any questions.
The only thing, I'm not going to belabor the report.
Thank you, because it is a work in progress.
The
Just like
thing
the chief, just like the chief is building his emergency management report, you know, like I said, we're building ours now too.
The thing one thing that, we had mentioned, I think, in December, was year over year. So showing us what occurred in May is great, but what's the percentage versus May of last year? Is it up over the past 12 months? Is it down for certain, for trauma, for medical, things like that? Yeah.
So I don't know if you got to see the Aetna report that was submitted today, but that data is actually in the report from May 25. RHVA had 133 calls. Aetna responded to 200 for a total of 333. And this past month, it was 132 to 214 for a total of 346 for responses. And then I believe there's something in here that talks about the medical versus trauma. Medical went from Medical's 181, trauma 79, and standby services were 8 for 2026. Did we do 2025? Yeah, we didn't get the 2025, but we are trying to incorporate the year over year as per requested. We just didn't get to it this time because I got the data late and didn't get a chance to meet with Dave.
The only thing I would say on, for the slide that has the month RHVA Aetna, since May of '25, if you can insert a column between RHVA and Aetna, and then Aetna between Aetna and ASM, just the latest month that says year over year percentage. So for May of '26, there'd be a space next to 132 that would say basically 0, because May of last year was 133, so it's really negligible. But if it was like 150, then you'd say plus 10%.
Okay, so you want an
Yeah.
increase column.
Yeah,
Got it.
just for the latest month.
We can certainly work that in.
And then you could probably, I saw one slide in here. I don't know if it was this one. I think it was, yeah. This one. Whoops. You can take out cardiac arrest. To note cardiac arrest it's not indicative of anything.
No, it
But
was
you-
reported in previous reports. That's the only reason
Yeah.
why we included it in this one.
If it was a save, we definitely want to know. Other than that, I think, I got so many papers here. I was looking for the
So I'll be
membership
honest with
thing.
you, Counselor, I was doing the same thing the last time I met with Dave. He got me onto this little electronic notebook. It's fabulous, so, you know, you can.
I have it, but I'm still old fashioned. I have to, I can't even get my Android Auto working. I just, I know we had a little conversation last meeting about membership. And I know there's, for some reason, there's just, a question about transparency and things like that. So I did some research, and I just want to read this off because it's indicative of being transparent to this committee, to the council, and to the public, because the town pays $250,000 a year towards EMS and the Aetna contract, CMed, things like that. So being transparent with figures, especially membership, which has been, it's just been a given. So I'm just going to read some of these figures that I came across. And this was not asked. This was just given by the chief. So July of 2017, 60 volunteer members. February 2018, 63 volunteer members. April 2021, 72 volunteer members. November 2022, 38 active writing members, and the chief went into detail. 38 active writing, 9 associate non-writing, excuse me, and 8 in training and 8 on leave. December 2023, 37 regular members, 4 probationary, 5 associate. April 2024, 47 members, 2 new members, 4 associate, 4 on leave. October 2025, 52 members. December 2025, 20-something members. January 2026, 24 writing members. June 2026, or May, it should be last month, 58 members. So you can see kind of like the jump, and it's a concern that there's just, you can throw at these different numbers. From January 24 members to May 58 members, I'd say that's awesome. That's a great jump.
Yes, it is.
But is it true? Is it volunteer writing members? And
I can
that's-
only go by the data that the program provides me, and that's the data that I provided you.
Okay.
So I will tell you, like I said, they are pushing membership. They have an EMT class starting tonight where they're hoping to get 3 to 5 additional members. The one thing I can say is they haven't dropped one call in the last 6 months. As a matter of fact, we're actually getting 371 on the road a little bit more, which means we have 2 crews available instead of just 1.
Okay. You reminded me of something that I just want to do real quick here. The response times, do you have a year over year? Between, for,
I think we just provide the previous month's annual or average response times. But we can start doing that year over
yeah,
year.
something like what Aetna provides. Like a hot response, 6 minutes, 20 seconds, cold response, 8 minutes, and then like a year over year.
So we're actually working with Aetna to incorporate all the data together. So we'll be doing that in the future, yes.
Perfect. Fran?
No, just thanks for increasing your numbers, and hopefully it'll continue to grow and keep the active members working for our community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we did, oh, please.
Dave?
Oh, Dave, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like all
Forgot about it.
all over the place.
Fran, what are you doing? I
I
almost
know.
got out of it again.
Okay, you have 2 minutes.
Trying to hide you,
No,
Dave,
so
I tried.
we had a pretty productive meeting today, kind of discussing how we'll try to build it out and make it a little more useful. It might be a little hard for me, at least to do year over year for the response times, at least for our HVAA, but I could at least get it started so that we can start comparing maybe month to month, and then as we get more into it, we'll be able to look back, how did we do compared to last year this time?
Right.
So I get what you're going at, though. For Aetna, though, we had 268 responses. So responses meaning it's not necessarily incidents. So I just want to make sure we know what we're talking about. So responses is like the number of patient contacts, number of units that we send. Sometimes it's going to look a little bit different than just pure incident requests. It may look a little different than the PD numbers. So just to kind of give you that. We had a 4% decrease overall in volume compared to May of the year before when we look at our responses. Again, not incidents, because I think when we looked at incidents, it actually went up overall, but I think there was a couple multi-patient incidents, and then we also had a lot of intercepts from the year before that usually wash out in the, and I added a little footnote at the bottom to say like, hey, these numbers exclude Medic 5 and EMS 1 responses, so that we kind of get a true number of how many incidents are coming into town. We needed 0 mutual aid resources for the month of May. Our average response time was 7 minutes and 1 second. Hot response is 6 minutes and 20 seconds, and cold response is 8 minutes and 27. A little bit of a downturn in the transports, about 4% from the month prior, where only 68% of people who requested 911 were transported. We had 2 opiate overdoses for the month of May. For our operations folks, we are preparing for 6 full-time EMTs to come on board in June. We had 1 paramedic, Nicole Grabowski, complete her medical control authorization and her precepting, and we have 1 starting the onboarding process to start that. Again, it's about a 10 to 12 week process for us. And we have 1 person currently that is precepting. And with that, I will stand by for any questions, and certainly if you want, if you have any suggestions for our report too, I'm open to it, and how we can make it more useful for you moving forward.
Great.
I'm good.
All set?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Really appreciate it. And the collaboration with our HVA. Brian?
Just gonna step up, so I'm gonna connect the computer. Cool. Good evening. What you see up on the screen here, I'm gonna get to in just a second. I'll go over the executive interview first, but for the month, as you see on the page 1, 2,951 calls, with 850 of those being non-self-initiated, non-officer initiated, with 30 criminal arrests and 7 DUIs. Happy to tell you big news today. We swore in our newest officer, Justin McAvoy LaFlame, who will be starting the academy in 2 weeks down at Post Council. We are working on a background on 1 right now, just waiting for some documents from the military, which we've been unsuccessful in getting our hands on, so that's taking a little longer than we had hoped. This month, we were happy to announce the Stop to Hate program, which we collaborated with the Mid-State Chiefs. We had about 40 participants. The mayor stopped by, some representatives. It was actually well attended, answered a lot of questions for the folks present, something I think that we'll bring back to Rocky Hill here in the future. The state police is doing their rounds through the hate crime unit, and we come on to collaborate with the Mid-State Chiefs. That was a great opportunity to kind of bring us together as a group, and it was very successful. Planning currently underway for National Night Out. Our statistic dashboard, which we'll talk about here in just a second, Proud to announce that that's actually live. Provided we don't have any feedback, it is up and running. We'll talk about it tonight and answer any questions I can for you. We are currently going through our CLIA online assessment. That's live. They're looking through our policies now. That usually takes a couple weeks, and the report filed by a month or two after that. And also, we're preparing for the Travelers Championship. We have our traffic post planned. We've been collaborating with the Travelers Championship themselves and Cromwell PD, and stand ready to put out some social media announcements in advance of that weekend. So if you live in Brook Street, Main Street corridor, you certainly know to avoid it, but we'll put out some messages to make sure everyone's aware. Any questions on page 1?
Nope, nope.
All right. Well, I provided for you, the objective is to kind of take the report that we've been providing the last couple of years, which holds about 19 data points. On that chart, that Excel spreadsheet you see, that's about 19 separate queries that someone or my staff is running to put that together for you. The system you see in front of you on the screen here today actually consolidates many of those queries into one report that not only is here for you to see, it allows you to manipulate it yourself from home on your internet. You can pull this up on your cell phone right now as we're speaking at home, and I'm here to kind of run you through that. What you're going to see here on your tab, on both on the screen and in the packet, is the 2026 report for May. In that you see the top several call types that we're searching by, the number of top 10 calls for service, and a heat map that you can drill down into, not very specific, but you can kind of get into the area of seeing where certain calls are taking place. So as an example, if you want to give me a call type.
Citizen assist.
All right, we're going to do, this is happening in real time, so if we go down and we look up Citizen Assist right here, and let it run, you're going to see that we did 36 Citizen Assists in the month of May. As far as them drilling down the map, we built the map so you could get granular to the address. We want to be more specific to a neighborhood to protect some privacy. Citizen Assist, you might ask what that means. It could be someone coming in the lobby, maybe asking some questions about a fraud that doesn't necessarily classify as a call type, but kind of all-encompassing. If you want to take a look, break it down even further, and let's see what we did here. We want to make sure we're protecting the privacy of folks. We're not reporting the address on domestics, sick persons, things of that nature. You'll see as you go through this, we really kept in mind the sensitivity of our folks in our community. All this information is free to you to be requested through Freedom of Information for the most part. Anything here, if you walked in our station and filled an FOI request, you could have yourself. If you want to go down to the next tab, if we're to crime trends, as you can see, I'm happy to say, from 2023, since I've been your chief, to today, our crime trends in that offense per year box is going down every single year. Where those stats and the statistics are coming from, the offenses you see on the left, are actually coming in through the narratives and the written reports we enter into our CAD system. We are not making those up. These are the types of offenses per, it's called NIBRS. It's a national reporting database, essentially. It used to be called OCR. But those crime types go in, and our records clerks verify that the officer's reports and the national crime types are reporting correctly. You can drill down further if you'd like and go into the year and month tab. This is the 2026. Just that way I get a little water. On this tab here, you can actually open up to multi-year. Just don't want to confuse anybody tonight when we're talking about it in its infancy, but you could go ahead and select 2025 to make a comparison between the two. You can go all the way back to 2024. It does get a little funky. You'll see kind of 88,000% change, and the statistics might be a little off there, but the numbers you see, the crime types, are accurate, okay? So work way back through stolen vehicles. Keep in mind on this chart here, this is not just stolen vehicles, this is actually stolen car parts. That's how NIBRS codes track both in stolen vehicle and in car parts. They're kind of considered same or similar crimes. So where my mouse is hovering over now on the screen here, you'll see vehicles stolen for the month of May. The answer is 0. The 3 you see here are 3 vehicle part thefts or vandalisms or theft of tires that occurred in those 3 locations in the month of May. Any questions there? You can drill down.
How do you differentiate between stolen car and parts?
And this will it'd be how we enter it into our CAD system. So if we were to put a vehicle with the VIN number in as stolen, check the box, it will show up as vehicle stolen as a number 1 in that box, and it will count that. It knows that because this vehicle wasn't checked stolen, it's only reporting car parts, because in that report somewhere, someone's adding in tires, center console, radio. I mean, the old days, the cassette, those are old,
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Chief,
Yeah.
does it not give the actual address?
No. So what we've done is, out of respect for privacy, now again, you can come in and FOI 99.999, 100% of what you see here. Anybody could walk into our lobby and fill out a request for that information. And absent in having victim information, it's pretty much free for anyone to digest. But what we've done is, in all cases here throughout this link, is we removed a numerical number, so your numerical doesn't show up for your house. So if you live at 5 North Ridge, 5 would not appear, only North Ridge would. And for later, I'll show you on another tab, for certain call types, we are not letting the system show you the street. So for privacy purposes, again, think if it's something that folks want to come into the station to get an FO request, they're free to do that. We can't prohibit that from that or stop from coming in and asking. But
Just before you leave the stolen vehicle there,
Yep.
on your hard copy report for the month of May, you say we had 1 stolen vehicle in town.
Yeah,
But
I
this
got-
one's showing none.
I'm going to drill into that later, not tonight. I got to figure out, there are some things, and I'll explain what's going on with this system and the old way. I had 19 different people, essentially not 19 people, but 3 people doing 19 queries. So I will drill in to answer that question. I've tried to fact check this thing as hard as I could to look for discrepancies. But for the most part, it's accurate. But where that one is, I don't know. I'll find out for you.
Okay.
All right? It's not because we're not putting it there intentionally. It just must be the way it was filed.
Some glitch in it. yes.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, with CAD data, the CAD system is not an analytical tool. The CAD is a briefcase to put information into, and we get out of it what we put into it. So sometimes there might be an oversight in the way a call was recorded or saved, but I'll take a look and make sure I get back to you for it with you. The next tab is accidents. This one's pretty interesting too. We're able to list down the top areas of locations where accidents are occurring. You can drill down as far as date, year, month, and then in injury class. What you're seeing here is not private property accidents, not the I hit your car in Walmart parking lot. This is the ones that trigger the MMUC, the state accident report. Accidents, not all accidents necessarily trigger the need to file a state report with the state of Connecticut. Over $500 if it's in the roadway. But we also have accidents in private property lots every day that wouldn't fall into this category here. They're not reportable for this purpose. So what you're seeing here is accident data, time, place, location, trends, patterns.
But you don't, there's no map?
As I mentioned to you before, we wanted to remove that ability for you to drill right into a house, right, and actually see a dot. So we thought giving you a street with the number of total accident count is pretty good. We can map it if you like.
Well, no, I'm just, the only reason I'm saying that, I'm just thinking Cromwell Avenue, Silas Dean are pretty long. Are most of these happening at Cromwell and Elm Street, or Cromwell and West Street, or France Street?
To be fair, if we go back on our old report, we wouldn't be able to answer that for you in the matter of the minute. If we were to, I can try to work with this to give you a map view, but keeping in mind that you're probably just going to see like a red blob kind of spread out and sporadic. I'll give it a shot and update it and see how it looks, and we can come back and talk about it next month too.
Okay.
I know what you're saying though. If you're looking for, obviously Ashwell, not a lot of magic going on there. It's a 1,200-foot long street, right? So you kind of know what's going on there. Maybe even same thing for Town Line. But I'm happy to add a map. I can even add it in the section you see down here and leave the count up top.
I'm surprised to see Trinity Ridge on there.
It could be a car, yeah, again, and then, yeah.
A major thoroughfare.
So motor vehicle stops for 2026, month of May, is written by all dispositions where this information is coming from right here. Is coming from our stop stat data. That's that data that you fill out, an officer fills out when they stop a car. At the very end, it gets reported up to the state on the Oliver Penn Act for racial profiling. So it's as accurate and it's as accurate information as we can provide in pretty much real time. I mean, what I should have mentioned to you is that this database updates every morning at 7:30 a.m. and it goes back to 7 a.m. So right now it's dormant. You're going to get what you get that was loaded as of 7 a.m. this morning, and then tomorrow morning the next day's data comes in. And the reason we did that, as an example, if we had an active domestic or an active barricade subject, we don't want folks at home looking in, or the suspect for that matter looking in, knowing what's happening almost instantly, but we're trying to give this information to be as transparent and give it to you as fast as we can. So essentially, when you wake up in the morning, if you had seen a police officer on your street and the call was registered, I'll be able to show you what happened in a minute on the next tab. So these are your motor vehicle stops for the month. Here's your top locations in sequence. Here are the outcomes and a comparison to 2025.
Where your cursor is now for like verbal warnings, for example. 2025, there's 123, 2026, 135. Is that 123 as of May 2025, or is that?
Yeah.
So it's by month of those years?
So if you look on the top here, these are called slicers.
Yep.
Essentially, we can take the slicer out and just go select all months.
Oh, gotcha.
And then bang, you got a whole year worth of data.
Okay.
Okay, and you can make that comparison there. So what I'm hopeful to do, I'll go over the next tab and explain the next two, and then ask for a little discussion if you don't mind. So this one, what I like about this one too, is pretty cool, is you can actually see the types of statutes that we are stopping cars for and what we're enforcing. Now, I mean, to drill it down into how many infractions were written for 14 to 18A, I could do that, but we're getting so granular at this point, it's almost become more of an analytical tool than what we're trying to offer our public for that transparency portal that we want this to be. But I'm happy to talk, at least for the report up here. We can dig in. I can let you digest this till the next meeting. We can talk about it again too. Happy to move on to the next one if you're good here. Okay. This one is pretty neat. This one is your last calendar month. You can actually break it down by last 1 day, last 2 weeks. You can pretty much break it down as you want. What you're seeing here is that's the number of actual call types that were entered into our CAD system and where they occurred. So there was a moving traffic violation that occurred on, forgive me for the time, looks like right at midnight on the 18th of May, and it occurred on Main Street. You can sort this again. There you go, now it's back in order for you. You'll note here on the sick person, we are not showing you the address. That is by design. There's about maybe 5 to 8 call types right here that we do not give you the address. So again, we kind of did this earlier, but if you want to see, as an example, these are our residential checks, and you live on Brookwood. I'm just picking random. There are our residential checks that occurred the month of May on your street if you live on Brookwood Drive. You can see the date and the time that they're out there, and that's 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. So kudos to our folks working midnights out looking for bad guys and hitting their neighborhoods. And you can break this down by any street you want. You can break this down by the entire town. If you have a real desire to know where larceny is occurring, you can break it down there. It really gives you a look, and you can dig in as deep as you want. So if we just go back to select all, then we're back to the normal list, and you're back to the month of May.
Good.
Now, the only tab I didn't present to you in your packet, just because it does make it a public record, is the arrest tab. I will show you that here for this purpose, but this tab is what you would call a police blotter. We used to put this on our front counter. You come pick it up. It's just not in your packet, because I don't want to add that to the record. But anybody can go online right now and pick up and see what this individual was charged with on the 31st. And you can go down all of our different arrests and check them out. So it's not, on that, we're really excited about it. It's deep. You got to spend a little time getting to know it, but it's usable. You can actually go on your phone and do some searching. If you're waking up in the morning, like, geez, I wonder what happened up in Century Hills last night when I heard the sirens. By 7 a.m., you should have that update there. We think it's a great opportunity to answer a lot of questions before they're asked, give our folks some confidence that we're out there, particularly like I just showed you with the residential checks. We're in your neighborhood 3, 4 in the morning. That would make me feel better if I was home or I was working midnights and my wife was home alone. And I think it gives a really good forward-facing application to allow our community to know what we're doing for you.
Is this a subscription, Brian?
Power BI, which is the analytical background, is paid for by IT department, by John. And I think he mentioned it was like $15 a month. We did have to pay somewhat setup fees to build this. I've been working on this project for 2.5 years. I've been trying to do it myself, and I got the reports to where I want them to be, but to get this nice look was very hard. We leaned on our vendor, who they finally found somebody who actually knew what they were doing, and it all came together at the right time. So I'm very happy with it. Officer Lombardi kind of jumped in, was helping me out significantly with getting the online component, was linking from the database to the online data, to the, sort of like the SharePoint server, and a little more computer geek stuff than is necessary. But a lot of steps that Mark helped me out with, and I do appreciate that.
Good.
That's a very interesting, detailed information for our whole community. It's I think it's going to take a lot of people getting used to learning it, but there is a lot of information that is useful.
So
Thank you.
with your permission, what I'd like to do is the link is live. You can go on our website now, you look for activity, the activity dashboard. You can play with this all night long. I mean, you could probably spend hours if you're that interested in doing it. But what I'd like to do is for a monthly report is kind of continue doing what I'm doing here with you this month. Keeping going with the old stuff, the old Excel spreadsheet, but giving you the screenshots of what I have here. And then as we kind of go through, if I'm able to, if there's a gap in there, as an example, I know for certainty the statistic on arrests, this 30 arrests for this month is reported on page 1 on the narrative piece here, right? Like, you know, it's in my opening, but it's not showing up as a tab. And I don't think that tab isn't really, this is the place to be sharing that tab. If someone really wants to know or wants to come get it at the station, they can do that on the blotter. But I'd like to continue giving you these screenshots on the monthly basis, and maybe at our next discussion, if there's something missing that you don't like, see if I can tweak it. I can't promise you I can do everything you ask for, but I am asking you that if you allow me to provide these screenshots, there's actually more going on in the background working on as far as the administrative reports. I hope to report on that maybe another month or two. We're still working kind of in the background to get rid of some other needs to run queries, specifically on the data you see on the bottom of that spreadsheet, the Excel spreadsheet, which is like the number of 911 calls requiring EMD, FOI requests, number of arrests made by the Bureau. Those are all manual queries. If you look at the Excel spreadsheet, see, kind of give me the what you're talking about. So as an example, if you look at the spreadsheet, every one of those columns, in cells, is someone performing a query right now. Going in, putting a date, a time, and doing a query type of, I need to know how many calls for service, hitting enter, adding it to this spreadsheet. Same thing for criminal arrest, going into another section of our CAD system, running a query, adding that number. What I'm trying to do is get out of the business of having to build 2 hours of work, 3 hours of work a month to build this, but I can give you what I'm showing you on the dashboard. So I'm going to start giving you the screenshots on a monthly basis, continue giving you what you see here on the Excel spreadsheet until we can find common ground and kind of modify it for going forward.
Perfect.
All right?
Okay, thank you. Old bid.
Just a quick
Okay, go
comment
ahead.
about, I've been talking about speed enforcement a lot around town. And you guys have been improving it drastically, a lot more visibility, people are noticing it. I see some of the speed sign trailers and some of them on stationary on poles. So, and I've got comments from people in the neighborhoods appreciating that as well. So thanks for your continued awareness of the speeding that people are complaining about, and you guys are doing a great job in at least trying to address it.
We appreciate the feedback when we hear from you here at this panel. I've responded to those every single time. Most recently on West Street too, we've talked about that too. So please keep the feedback coming, whether you email in the town manager's office or my office directly. I can tell you we have a lot of committed folks who are enjoying themselves out there. We had the motor unit out a couple weeks now, back-to-back weeks as well, and trying to make that a priority for you.
That's great. Thank you for that. It's noticeable.
Will you be at the council meeting tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Because you had, something popped into my brain about that oversized vehicle and recreational thing.
Kim and I exchanged some emails with the manager last Wednesday or Thursday. So I know she's been working on it. I did provide some feedback for her too.
Okay, so yeah, it's on the agenda for tomorrow, so I figured why discuss it here if it's going to be.
Quick note on that. Officer Godino did a great job with one of the vehicles in question on Gulf Brook Road. And he talked to me about it in length, and he had worked in Hartford PD doing some of that same enforcement. So I'd ask if he could review that ordinance as well. He may come up with some other ideas or something to include in it, if you don't mind reaching out to him or.
Sure.
I appreciate that, because he was very knowledgeable and very informative when he called me about the situation there that we had blocking the road. Thanks.
No problem.
Okay, thank you. Old business, CGR, introduction.
As you know, they have decided to interview the public safety members individually, so they will not introduce themselves tonight. They're introducing tomorrow to the full council.
Okay. Motion for,
Motion to executive session.
you have to read the whole thing, though.
We have to close this one up.
You have to read the whole thing. Motion.
Motion the whole thing?
Yeah.
We're going to motion for the executive session amount to CGS section 1-206B and E to discuss pending claims with the town manager, director of human resources and legal compliance, director of finance and operation, and town attorney for the town.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.